Hi, I'm Kenny Joya. Welcome to another one of my tutorials. In this video, I'm going to show you to gate sequence anything in Reaper. Now the concept of gating and sequencing some audio is basically cutting it up to the rhythm of our project. And I'm going to show you how to do it quickly. This is going to apply to any source you're using. Could be an acoustic or an electric guitar, could be a piano, or even a vocal. But in this video, I'm going to show it to you with a synth. But keep in mind, this will work with anything. So a project setup here that I want to add a synth to. I'll create a new track. Let's bring it to the top, make it bigger. Let's name it synth. Let's put it into record and make sure the input is set to MIDI. So if I play my USB MIDI keyboard, I'll see level or MIDI level on the track. And we do. So now we'll go to the effects on the track, and I'm going to search Zebra. And I'm going to choose a plugin right here called Zebra Let, which is a free plugin that you can download from the UHE site. And I have a whole video going through it. So definitely download it if you need a nice synth. Double click it, and that puts this synth on this track. We'll go to the presets, and I'm going to choose under pads, a trance pad. And I'm going to make it a bit brighter by opening up the filter right here. And now it sounds like this. So again, we're going to cut this up just as an example, but the method here will work with anything, MIDI or audio. So now we'll go back to the track effects to add another plugin. And it could be anything. It could be a compressor, even a volume plugin, as long as the plugin has a gain knob on it, which we could automate to create the gating sequence effect. And I'm going to use an EQ, because then I could use a filter later to filter the effect, as you'll see. We'll choose Re-EQ, double click it, and it adds the EQ to the track. But we're not going to worry about the EQ. We just want to control the level over here, or the gain. So we'll touch this as the last touched parameter, go to our menu, and choose Parameter Modulation, which opens up this dialog where we could turn on an LFO to automate that parameter. As you can see, it's already moving, but it's going too high, and it's also moving smoothly, and we don't want that. So let's change the shape to be a square wave, and now it only has two positions, which is basically on and off. But again, it's too high. So we'll adjust the strength to go half as much. And now it goes up to about 0, and then off. So if we play our keyboard, it cuts up or gates or sequences the synth. And we can adjust the speed right here. Or sync it to the tempo over here. Let's set it to a quarter note, and now it sounds like this. So let's play along with the track. But notice it plays on the upbeat. If you want that effect, that's fine. But if you want a downbeat, instead, we should switch the direction to be negative. And then readjust the bass line to be in the middle. Now it still moves the same amount, but it should now be a downbeat, like this. And we could double the time, make it 0.5 to be an eighth note. We'll double it again, 0.25 to be a 16th note. And we could also use different divisions of time. So if we set it to 0.33, we get a triplet feel, like this. Or we could change it to 0.66 for a dotted feel. But for this, let's switch it to positive and put the bass line over here so it'll sound like this. And then we could also use the filter in the EQ. Let's put it back to a quarter note, put the direction back to negative, and put the bass line back to the middle. And now we'll go to our EQ. Let's delete all the bands except for one. We'll change it to a low pass, bring up the bandwidth, and play around with the frequency. To create a filtered effect. And if we touch this as the last touched parameter, we can go up here, add parameter modulation to this fader, which opens this up, set it to an LFO, we'll adjust the speed, the bass line, and the strength, so it doesn't move quite as far, a little faster, something like this, maybe a little slower. Let's hear that effect. So it's still cutting up our synth, but it's also filtering it differently over time. Now we can go back to the gain knob's parameter modulation and readjust the notes that are gated. Instead of quarter notes, let's put it back to eighth notes. Or 16th notes. Or triplets. Or change the direction. Let's put this back to quarter notes, positive, with the bass line over here to get this feel. So using our filter, along with cutting up, using a gate sequencer, we can create many different effects to use in our projects.
Wake up 2 p.m. I know where we are. Looks like a cheap motel with the clothes on the floor. I don't know how we ended up here. And we've been flying high. Are we going too far? I got no cash left and I'm losing my job over you. But I don't care about that.
So that's pretty much it. That's how to gate sequence anything in Reaper. Hope you learned something, hope you could use it, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.
Bingo, boys, let's go.
Bye.